Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar where we will be discussing the pharmacological tools in pediatric advanced life support. Use of any of the medications listed in this webinar should be done within your own scope of practice and after thorough study of the actions and side effects. This webinar provides only a brief reminder for those who are already knowledgeable in the use of these medications. Moreover, we will discuss only pediatric doses, indications, and routes of administration, intravenous and intraosseous, for the most common PALS drugs. Although cited for reference, routine administration of drugs via an ET tube is discouraged. Rapid access and drug delivery through an IO is preferred to ET administration as drug absorption from the ET tube route is unpredictable. So the first drug we're going to talk about is adenosine, which is mainly used in PALS to help treat supraventricular tachycardia. So for the first dose for IVIO is 0.1 milligrams per kilogram with a max dose of 6 milligrams. And then the second dose can be 0.2 milligrams per kilogram with a max dose of 12 milligrams. Some notes, rapid IVIO bolus, no ET is allowed for this drug. Flush with saline and monitor ECG. Next up is amiodarone, which is used in PALS for tachyarrhythmias. The pediatric dose for IVIO is 5 milligrams per kilogram over 20 to 60 minutes. Some notes about amiodarone is that it has a very long half-life and that you need to monitor the ECG. Atropine is a drug that's used in PALS for bradycardia. The pediatric dose is 0.02 milligrams per kilogram. And then if you're using the ET route administration, it'd be 0.03 milligrams per kilogram. You can repeat once if needed with a max single dose of 0.5 milligrams. Some notes is that it's also used to treat specific toxins such as organophosphate poisoning. Epinephrine is a drug that's used for cardiac arrest or shock. The pediatric dose for IVIO is 0.01 milligrams per kilograms at a dilution of 1 to 10,000. It has a max dose of 1 milligram. Then for the ET route, it's 0.1 milligrams per kilograms at a dilution of 1 to 1,000. The max dose is 2.5 milligrams. Some notes is that epinephrine has multiple uses and can be entered using multiple routes. You should repeat every 3 to 5 minutes if needed. For glucose, the main PALS use is for hypoglycemia. The pediatric dose is 0.5 to 1 gram per kilogram. Some newborns would be 5 to 10 milliliters per kilogram with D10W. For infants and children, 2 to 4 milliliters per kilogram with D25W. And for adolescents, 1 to 2 milliliters per kilogram with D50W. Lidocaine is a drug used for tachyarrhythmias. The initial dose is 1 milligram per kilogram. An infusion of 20 to 50 micrograms per kilogram per minute. A max dose of 100 milligrams. And if you use the ET route, it's 2 to 3 milligrams. Magnesium sulfate is used in PALS for torsades points and refractory asthma. The pediatric dose is 20 to 50 milligrams per kilogram over 10 to 20 minutes with a max dose of 2 grams. Some notes is that you may run it faster for torsades. Milrinone is mainly used in PALS for cardiogenic shock. The pediatric initial dose is 50 micrograms per kilogram over 10 to 60 minutes and maintained with 0.5 to 0.75 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Some notes is that longer infusion times and euvolemia will reduce the risk of hypotension. Now, naloxone is used for opioid reversal. For pediatrics, it's less than 5-year-olds or under 20 kilograms. You would dose them with 0.1 milligram per kilogram. If they're over 5 years old or over 20 kilograms, then it'd be 2 milligrams IV for 2 to 3 minutes as required. Some notes is decreased dose to reverse respiratory depression due to therapeutic opioid use. So 1 to 5 micrograms per kilogram and titrate to effect. Procainamide is used for tachyarrhythmias. It has a pediatric dose of 15 milligrams per kilogram over 30 to 60 minutes. Some notes is do not give with amiodarone and monitor ECG and blood pressure when delivering this drug. Sodium bicarbonate is used for metabolic acidosis. The pediatric dose is 1 per kilogram, slow bolus with a max dose of 50. Monitor ABG and ECG and use after adequate ventilation. Don't forget, we offer online PALS certification on our site. You can find a link in the description. We encourage you to become certified as soon as possible, whether that be on your own time with an online course or in an in-classroom setting. So thank you so much for tuning into today's webinar. We will catch you the next time.